Gary, a 7-2 victory here for Billericay. Not our intended opponents, Southend United, but with late notice Lydd Town stepped in, and although early on it looked as if we could have knocked up a cricket score, Lydd pulled 2 goals back. Were you slightly concerned about the lapses of concentration in the team after we appeared to take our foot off the gas?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of complacency crept in, didn't it? You could see that into the performance in the mid part of the first half, but credit to Lydd Town. I thought their rotations and their movement and their overlaps and underlaps was excellent. You could see they were a well coached side, and credit to them. I'll take this opportunity to thank them as well for stepping in at such short notice. But yeah, look, we need to be better. There was, we didn't quite get the press right. We wasn't aggressive enough in the central areas of the pitch on quite a few occasions, but we also wasn't recovering in the wide areas quick enough to assist the fullback. So we find ourselves a little isolated. There's lots of bits to work on in that 15-20 minutes of the first half for sure. But I thought the identity and the reaction second half to the information and instructions that were given was excellent. I thought second half you could see they tired as well with it, but that's maybe because we controlled the ball a little better. So no pleasing result in the end, but still plenty to work on.
Well, say in the second half we got that early 4th goal, looked much more in control, as you say, and especially the likes of Adam Levers coming on and pulling all the strings in front of the 2 centre halves made all the difference. Now Bradley scored 2, he had 2 assists also, but came off, we thought from McCann he was holding the back of his thigh. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's no problem. I mean, he's just got a bit of tightness in his hamstrings. He's still playing a bit of catch up, hence why he was one of the players that we give some extra minutes to, but he'll be fine for Tuesday night. There's no pull, there's no injury, it's just fatigue, so no issues there. Credit to him, 2 goals and 2 assists. He looks a threat. You can see why there was a desire for the football club to keep him, and us as a management team. He's going to be a real asset to us, and he showed that again. There's lots of bits that we can still work on in the offensive areas, not him solely as a group in terms of press, but credit, as I say, to him for the 2 goals and 2 assists.
Now Moses came on for the second half. He missed a sitter, then notched up a second half hat-trick. But overall, how pleased were you with the finishing today?
Yeah, well, that's credit again to him. I think he again showed his experience. He didn't let an early miss affect him. I think when you've got the experience he's got, and he's got the nous in front of goal like he's got, he knows that if another chance presents itself, he's going to take it. And I thought his 3 finishes, was excellent, penalty included. But he's come off the pitch a little bit, cross with himself that he didn't get 4 or 5. So it's he showed his qualities. He showed what he's about. And I'd like to have seen Alfie get a goal. I think his desire to get a goal was clear for all to see. Maybe just a little more composure on the chances that presented themselves. But I thought the offensive threat in the final third was clear for all to see. It could have been more, but admittedly that was against the tiring team that had put so much in to the early stages.
So we move on to Wilston, game that will be played on grass on Tuesday evening. What type of squad will you take with you? Will it include still a lot of youngsters, or will you progress it more towards the first team?
I think we'll be a full first team on Tuesday now, hence that's why we maybe only done 45s today for the majority. We'll more likely be a lot of 45s again on Tuesday, but it will be with a full first team squad. Ably assisted by some of the youngsters that have really acquitted themselves well. I thought young Jaden in midfield again. Every time I see him, I sort of purr over him. I think he's got a real chance, the lad. He's got to keep learning and keep taking on board from the senior players. But again, I thought he'd done really well, so he'd be around the first team along with 1 or 2 others.
We saw Richard Asamoah and Adi Aziz come back into the squad today. We haven't yet seen Aaron Pollock. What's the situation on his fitness?
Well, Richard, obviously, he's only trained this week, so we got 45 minutes into him, and I think you can see there's a real talent there. Adi, we all know what Adi's going to bring. I thought he was a real menace up there. Ended up having a couple of kicks out of him and such like. But Aaron, he's closing in. He's got some tightness in his calves where we've really pushed him. And I'm hoping, all being well, that he'll be back for next Saturday. We'd like to think he'll train Tuesday and train Thursday and be available for the game next Saturday against Harrow.
Great, thanks very much.
You're welcome.